So, hi, thank you for having me. Thank you for this presentation just now. Um, I'll talk about what's going on with gas, how the industry sells it, why this is not, why this is false, they're false narratives, a bit about how they do it, the industry's tactics, and how we fight it. So, there's a massive boom in gas infrastructure all over the world for the last decade or so, especially the last few years, and planned for the next 10, 20 years. On this map, you can see LNG terminals, which is liquid gas terminals, so massive ports that you can bring gas to on a ship or send it off to a different country, and pipelines. And this is only the ones that are either in construction, proposed, or shelved, so plans that are on the back burner. So it's a huge amount of new infrastructure. And here we can see how gas extraction has been increasing in different regions. The yellow bar is for 1995, orange in the middle for 2005, and red for 2015. And point is, it basically, in most of the regions, the general trend is it's going up. More and more gas is being extracted from 1995 to 2015. This is a similar kind of graph, but for consumption. I think the striking thing when you look at the difference between these graphs is that the EU extraction is going down. I just jumped back, but consumption is going up. So it's a very NIMBY, not in my backyard approach to gas. They'll save their citizens living near too much extraction, but will fuel it happening elsewhere and increase consumption. So that's the trend. And these are projections from the International Energy Agency, from current policies, and also from the IEA, which is not the most radical organization. It's like an intergovernmental organization. It's also from their sustainable development scenarios. So even in the sustainable development scenarios, gas consumption is projected to increase. So all over the world, we're seeing a global gas boom, and Europe is a really key consumer. So Europe is driving this in a big way, and also lots of finance for gas projects all over the world comes from Europe. This is a map of projects, new gas projects that the EU Commission is giving political support to. So it's a hell of a lot. And some of these are in construction, some are still plans. So what does the industry have to say about this? I'm going to try and play you a video from Shell. It's not very long.
Each day, you wake up. You use the phone, the computer, transport. You use energy. And as the world uses more energy, we need to provide power that is available, flexible, and environmentally sustainable. Producing 1/10 of the air pollutants as coal when burnt to generate electricity, natural gas can provide positive environmental and health benefits to our cities and towns. These benefits, coupled with natural gas's nearly global reach, ensures that natural gas can play a key role in the energy mix, regardless of where you live. Renewable energy is crucial to our future, but as they develop, and when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, natural gas can keep our lives powered reliably and sustainably.
This is an example of an advert. This bus is running on clean natural gas. Gas is pushed for transport in a huge way. Naturally, you choose natural gas, and this comes from a massive gas lobby group called Gas Naturally. They want it to look cozy. They want you to associate it with nice things like being at home and drinking tea. This is another gas ad from Gale Gas Limited. It's a gas company, but it's saying, turn to renewable energy. It's completely co-opting. They said they make their money from gas. And I've got this beautiful natural image. This is a relatively recent campaign that I think is just ludicrous. Hashtag cooking with gas from the American Gas Association. And they've got recipes on YouTube all about hashtag cooking with gas to use to harness the positive associations people have with cooking and the new audiences from this to sell gas, make people feel good about it. And this example actually is not, they've taken the video down because I think it's a Shell one, but this was a video in which a lesbian vegan couple who are robotics majors talk about how much they love gas and how great it is to have hybrids. So Shell totally co-opting all these things that they think will make them look modern and progressive and liberal to sell fossil fuels. So the industry's story is that gas is clean, it's green, it's natural. The term natural is completely arbitrary. It's just as the same as saying natural coal, natural oil. So that's in our discourse. You can see a big achievement there of the fossil fuel industry. And they promote it as a lot better than coal, a smart partner to renewables, that renewables can't do it alone. We need to have gas for renewables to work. And also in some regions, gas is sold as a solution for peace. In the Middle East especially, it's sold as what will unite Israel and Egypt and Jordan, and they'll make these deals with gas and then it'll give peace to the whole region. And Europe's at risk from Russia, so for security, we need to build new pipelines to different regions. So it's sold like this politically as well. But in reality, communities and local environments suffer just as it's the same extractive model. I'm not going to go through all of these, but maybe you can share the slideshow later. Horrible local health impacts, land rights violated, displacement, all the horrible impacts of the extractivist industry that you might associate with oil and coal and mineral mining are all the same. And it's the same massive fossil fuel companies. Here you can see these are companies and their investments in gas. All the oil majors, lots of coal majors are seeing gas as their lifeline. They see the pressure that there's a kind of political consensus that oil and coal are bad, and we're not quite there yet with gas. So they're seeing it as their lifeline to hold on to the same model, the same centralized exploitive energy systems. Yeah. And so the climate impacts of gas are a disaster, but they're a disaster in a different way to oil and coal. And so the industry has their ways of making it look not as bad. So gas is almost entirely methane, which is a very potent, a very strong greenhouse gas with a very intense global warming impact. Methane exists in the atmosphere for about 12 years, and then it degrades into CO2 and something else, maybe water. But so methane becomes CO2 anyway, and in the 12 years in which it exists as methane, has about 86 times as much the global warming impact as CO2. So if you use the same scale to look at the impact of coal with its CO2 emissions as gas with its methane emissions, it's not helpful. And so they need to be looked at in their own different contexts. And what the industry will do, they'll use a 100-year time frame, because CO2 lasts in the atmosphere around 100 years. They'll say, look, the impact of coal over 100 years, of burning coal over 100 years is like this for the climate, and the impact of gas over 100 years is like this. But that means that you're measuring the impact of a gas that lasts in the atmosphere for 12 years over 100 years. So you're taking the average of it over 100 years, which means you're factoring 88 years into that average in which it doesn't exist in the atmosphere. So gas is no better than burning oil and coal. It's damaging in a different way. Um,
1 minute warning, Naomi.
so there's many different strategies that the industry use, and I've been over a lot already: creative PR, creative accounting, lobbying, co-opting renewables. And the grassroots movement against gas is growing rapidly, and a lot of this fight is a narrative fight. So we stop calling it natural gas, we call it fossil gas, and lots of peer-to-peer education, workshops, and connecting with other full solutions, understanding more about the real solutions we're fighting for, I think is how we win. And it's awesome to be here on this panel, because I think the more we connect with these different full solutions, the better we can avoid, winning one fight and just having it skip over to another exploitive, extractivist model. Thank you.